This is the Toddlers service for Thursday the 19th of August 2021 for St Mary's Church, Jersey in the Channel Islands. But we're here in my kitchen, not in church. And we're going to sing some songs together, action songs you can join in, and there'll be a story and prayers. So we're going to start with a song we can join in, If I Go Climbing. And there's actions, climb like this to begin with.
Let's go climbing up a huge mountain.
If I go climbing, 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 if I go climbing, God is there. If I go climbing on the highest mountain, God is there, 'cause He is everywhere.
Now let's get into our boats
And go for a rowing in a boat.
If I go rowing, 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 if I go rowing, God is there. If I go rowing on the widest river, God is there, 'cause He is everywhere.
Let's go swimming right to the
Swim?
bottom of the ocean.
If I go swimming, 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 if I go swimming, God is there. If I go swimming to the bottom of the ocean, God is there, 'cause He is everywhere.
Can you get into your car? Put on your seatbelt, ready to go for a drive.
Sit on.
If I go driving, 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 if I go driving, God is there. If I go driving far away, God is there, 'cause He is everywhere.
Now we're going flying on an aeroplane.
You fly on an aeroplane.
If I go flying, 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 if I go flying, God is there. If I go flying on the biggest aeroplane, God is there, 'cause He is everywhere.
Can you curl up on the floor?
Go to sleep.
Go to sleep.
On the floor.
If I go sleeping, 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 if I go sleeping, God is there. If I go sleeping on the darkest night, God is there, 'cause He is everywhere.
Now I'm going to sing the rhyme about two little eyes. Two little eyes to look to God, two little ears to hear His word, two little feet to walk in His ways, two little lips to sing His praise, two little hands to do His will, and one little heart to love Him still. Now this is a song again to sing along to. Jesus is my best friend. The actions start off like this. Jesus is my best friend, my best friend, my best friend. Jesus is my best friend. He's always there for me. Jesus is my best friend, my best friend, my best friend. Jesus is my best friend. He's always there for me. On Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturdays, Jesus is my best friend. He's always there for me. Dance to music. Jesus is my best friend, my best friend, my best friend. Jesus is my best friend. He's always there for me. On Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturdays, Jesus is my best friend. He's always there for me. He's always there for me. He's always there. get up because we're going to sing the dinosaur song. There's going to be lots of roaring and stomping. Can you roar like a dinosaur? And stomp, stomp. Roar, roar, roar. Roar, roar, stomp, stomp. Roar, roar, roar. Roar, 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 roar.
Many, many years ago, walking on the earth were supermassive animals with teeth and claws and fur. And some that swim and fly and grow, but way more radical is that God who made them is alive, greater than them all. God is bigger than a dinosaur, taller than a dinosaur, stronger than a dinosaur.
Roar, roar, roar.
God is older than a dinosaur, more mighty than a dinosaur, more awesome than a dinosaur.
Roar, roar, roar. Roar, roar, roar. Stomp. Roar, roar.
Tyrannosaurus Rex, king above the rest. And how did Stegosaurus bark? How did Mordecus lay eggs? Only God could know it all, but way more radical is that he could bring them back to life. Now wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't it? God is bigger than a dinosaur, taller than a dinosaur, stronger than a dinosaur.
Roar, roar, roar.
God is older than a dinosaur, more mighty than a dinosaur, more awesome than a dinosaur.
Roar, roar, roar.
The fossil, he's not extinct, he's with us here and now, and forever he'll be alive. Let's write his praises now.
Roar, roar.
God is bigger than a dinosaur, older than a dinosaur, stronger than a dinosaur.
Roar, roar, roar.
God is older than a dinosaur, more mighty than a dinosaur, more awesome than a dinosaur.
Roar, roar, roar. Roar, roar, roar. Roar, roar, roar. Roar, 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 roar. Dinosaurs go off into the distance. Now I'm going to sing the song about Mr. Noah, who built the ark, a big boat called the ark, because God told him to take all the animals, 2 of each sort, into this big boat to keep them safe before the floods came. Mr. Noah built an ark, the people thought it such a lark. Mr. Noah pleaded so, but into the ark they would not go. Down came the rain in torrents, splish splash. Down came the rain in torrents, splish splash. Down came the rain in torrents, all the 8 were saved. The animals went in 2 by 2, the big giraffe and the kangaroo. All were safely stowed away until that great and terrible day, when down came the rain in torrents, splish splash. Down came the rain in torrents, splish splash. Down came the rain in torrents, and all the 8 were saved. So whenever you see a rainbow, whenever you see a rainbow, whenever you see a rainbow, remember God is love. And I'm going to get up again because we're going to sing the wiggle song. wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And when the music tells us to stop wiggling, we're going to freeze very still. Wiggle, 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 wiggle again. Wiggle, 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 freeze. Wiggle, 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 freeze.
I said I gotta get the wiggles out of me. I'm gonna shake my hands, I'm gonna shake my feet, I'm gonna shake my head, gonna move to the beat, 'cause I gotta get those wiggles out of me. I said I gotta get those wiggles out of me. Wiggle, 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 wiggle,
Freeze.
wiggle,
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle, freeze.
I said I gotta get those wiggles out of me. Skiddly scat, skiddly doo. I gotta get those wiggles out of me. I wanna hear the story. It's gonna be fun. Hearing about Jesus is for everyone. So I gotta get those wiggles out of me. Wiggle, 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 wiggle,
Freeze.
wiggle,
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle, freeze.
I said I gotta get those wiggles out of me. I said I gotta get those wiggles out of me. I said I gotta get those wiggles out of me. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Sing it down now.
Now I've got 2 books here with some prayers in. This one says, God is faithful, He never leaves us. Thank you, God, for always being with us. God is faithful, He never forgets about us. Thank you, God, for never forgetting about us. We say, Amen. Here's another prayer. Thank you, dear God, for the many kind people who help us along our way, who smile when we're happy, who care when we're tearful, who keep us safe all through the day. Thank you, God, for those many kind people. We say, Amen. Now before the story, I say a little rhyme to remind us that these stories are all from God's book, the Bible. Now is the time to listen. Now is the time to see. We'll open God's book to hear what He has to tell me. And today's story is from the Old Testament, the stories that are written in the Bible long, long before Jesus was born. But Jesus would have known this story. It's about the people of Israel. The people of Israel had been in Egypt, but the people in Egypt had made them work very, very hard, building walls with bricks and looking after the crops. And the people of Israel were very tired. And Moses went to the king and said, please, can we all go into the desert and say prayers to our God? But the king, the Pharaoh in Egypt, said, no, I want you to stay here and keep working for us. And many times Moses went and said, please, please, can the people of Israel go into the desert? And in the end, Pharaoh said, yes, they can go. So off the people of Israel went, off into the desert. There's Moses. He went ahead with his staff, with his big, big stick. The people of Israel all went along behind. Off they went into the desert. But they came across a great big area of water, the Red Sea. And the people of Israel looked at the water and thought, oh dear, how are we going to get across this water? Here's the great big area of water, the Red Sea. It had a river at one end and a river at the other, but it was a very big, big area of water, like a big, big lake. How were the people going to get across this big, big area of water? They looked at the water and thought, oh dear, how are we going to get across? And I'm afraid they all said to Moses, Moses, why have you brought us here? We can't get across this water. What are we going to do? How are we going to be able to go on? And Moses said, don't worry. Just trust God. Trust God because he will look after us. And Moses went to the edge of the water. And the water began to move. And it began to on one side, it flowed down. On the other side, it stopped flowing. And there was a passageway for the people to walk across. And Moses stood in the middle and he held up his staff, his big stick, and for as long as he held up his big stick, the water had parted and all the people could go across. That was wonderful. It was a bit muddy, but they could get across safely to the other side. They were very pleased. And they turned back and looked at the water and thought, this is wonderful. God has helped us. Moses held up his big stick and we'd be able to get across to the other side. And then they saw in the distance who should be coming but the chariots of the Egyptians. The Egyptian soldiers were coming in chariots. The king of the Egyptians, the pharaohs, had changed his mind. He had sent his soldiers in chariots to chase after the people of Israel in order to bring them back. What were they going to do? They were very worried. But Moses stood on the bank and he put down his big stick onto the ground. And as he did so, the waters all came back and the people of Israel were safe. The Egyptian soldiers in the chariots couldn't get them. The people of Israel were safe. God had looked after them just the way Moses had said. Moses said, trust in God and he will look after you. And that's the story of how God looked after the people of Israel by parting the waters of the Red Sea. And I'm going to sing the song about my God is so big, because that's how the people of Israel must have thought. They thought there's nothing God cannot do. My God is so big, so strong and so mighty, there's nothing that he cannot do. Clap, clap. My God is so big, so strong and so mighty, there's nothing that he cannot do. Clap, clap. The rivers are his, the mountains are his, the stars are his handiwork too. Clap, clap. My God is so big, so strong and so mighty, there's nothing that he cannot do. Clap, clap. That's just like the story when God parted the waters of the Red Sea so that the people of Israel could go through safely. Now we're going to sing the last song, and if you've got some instruments and can make some noise and you can dance around your room, we're going to sing What Noise Shall We Make? I've got a bottle with some rice in.
What noise shall we make to say that God is great? What noise shall we make unto the Lord? Let's make a loud noise to say that God is great. Let's make a loud noise unto the Lord. Here is my loud noise. Here is my loud noise. Here is my loud noise unto the Lord. What noise shall we make to say that God is great? What noise shall we make unto the Lord? Let's make a quiet noise to say that God is great. Let's make a quiet noise unto the Lord. Here is my quiet noise. Here is my quiet noise. Here is my quiet noise unto the Lord. What noise shall we make to say that God is great? What noise shall we make unto the Lord? Let's make a fast noise to say that God is great. Let's make a fast noise unto the Lord. Here is my fast noise. Here is my fast noise. Here is my fast noise unto the Lord. What noise shall we make to say that God is great? What noise shall we make unto the Lord? Let's make a slow noise to say that God is great. Let's make a slow noise unto the Lord. Here is my slow noise. Here is my slow noise. Here is my slow noise unto the Lord.
Dance around the room. That's the end of this week's service from St Mary's Church in Jersey and the Channel Islands. There'll be another one next week with a different story. Bye-bye!